Hey, what's up guys? It's Galaxy Tech Dark Lord here. I'm back with actually a testing deck video. You can see this is Sylvans. Because this is a new deck that I'm testing out at the moment. It's not quite complete. I'm not going to profile it yet. Basically because both my main deck, the Infinities, and my spare deck were hit by the new ban list. So I've just taken it upon myself to try out some new stuff. I already had quite a couple of cards from here because I was planning on building one sooner or later, but I never thought I would actually complete it. But you know, because I now have no deck to run, I feel more compelled to complete it. So I'm just gonna run a couple of tests with it and see how that goes. So from the get-go we have these, Threatening Roar, Super Solar Nutrient, Mushroom, Copy Plant, and Miracle Fertilizer. So then we draw for turn. As you can see, this is a proxy. It's Sylvan Marshall Leaf. It's the most expensive part of the deck. So what I would do here is probably drop one and then drop one on the back row, and then summon Marshall Leaf, which will allow me to excavate. So Peacekeeper in the graveyard. That's not actually very useful, and probably should not have done that because it's without having a card that would stack the deck. But yeah, so then I'd end my turn. I can use Threatening Roar and then draw again. So I've just drawn into Mount Sylvania, which I can activate. I have nowhere to put this, but I'll put it there. So then I can drop something like Kumushrimo. As you can see, I have not much clue how to actually play the deck yet, but I'm learning, so just bear with. So I can top deck anything. It doesn't matter because it's not going to stay there for long. So Sylvan Peacekeeper. Then I'm going to go Copy Plant and Super Solar Nutrient, which is going to take out Copy Plant and summon out Sylvan Hermitry. Now this is your really big one. This is the really big guy that you're generally going to go into quite know what I'm talking about. Can't go into Sylvan Hermitry. No, I'm going to go into Lone Fire Blossom, which then will go into Sylvan Hermitry. So yeah, this is the big guy you're going to go into generally quite a bit, and it's best that you do go into it quite a bit because you know it is a very big. It is what you're going to use to execute a lot of your plays, basically. So then I'm going to use Hermitry to excavate a card. So it's Lone Fire Blossom, that goes to the graveyard, then I get to draw a card. Then that's when I'll just attack and then hang that there. So, you know, that's generally not the best of plays to ever make. But then, like, game 2, you know. Right, so we've got those 5 in the start, and then draw for turn with a Threatening Roar. So it would be obviously start with Mount Sylvania, then drop Dandelion to top deck something like I don't know. In this situation, if you're going first, then it would generally be a good idea to top something like Kumushrimo or Marshall Leaf. I'm going to go Marshall Leaf with this one. Yeah. And then with Dandelion, it gets us 2 tokens. As you can see, these are custom, I made them myself. Right, so then we can, because these are only tokens, we can go Super Solar Nutrient on them, on one of them. So I'd take out one of them, the Cyber End one, and then we'd take out Lone Fire Blossom from the deck, and then immediately tribute it to get out the much bigger Hermit Tree. Unfortunately, in setting this up, we've now lost the card which we've put on the top of the deck, but that is of little or no concern at the moment, because what matters most is getting the cards out and then executing the plays. So we've got these three on the bench, in the hand. So that's not too bad. We can set Threatening Roar face down and stop your opponent attacking. It's not so essential to run things like Mirror Force because your opponent's cards don't matter in this sense. What matters more is just stopping their attacks, because you can take them out next turn anyway. So then I'm going to go Hermit Tree's effect and excavate the top card. So it's Peacekeeper, which is quite lucky because that means I can take Lone Fire out of the graveyard and then use its effect all over again to summon something like Sylvan Hermit Tree. Yeah. I might have to point out the Sylvans are quite. The problem with Sylvans is they're quite combo based, and the fact that they rely on the graveyard a lot means that they're easy pickings for Gravekeepers, and also the fact that they rely a lot on luck as well. If you haven't stacked anything like with Mount Sylvania or Lavalval Chain, which I don't run in this deck because there's a lack of level 4s, but if you haven't stacked anything, then you're leaving a lot of this down to chance, which is not a good idea in this deck. So then, right, so now that we've got another Hermit Tree out in the field, we can use his effect as well to excavate. So that's a Martial Leaf, which would mean like destroy one of his monsters or something. So then we can overlay those two Hermit Trees and go into Divine Dragonite Felgrand. And there's a good combo with this. You can because I run this in Torrential Tribute in the deck, you can have Torrential Tribute face down, then like the next turn you can summon Divine Dragonite Felgrand and chain Torrential Tribute, and then detach a material from this to have it unharmed, and then all your opponent's monsters will go. So it's very good if your opponent swarmed the field a lot. So yeah, and then yeah, that would just be attack, and then yeah. So that's that. So that test hand's that wasn't too bad. I was able to make good on that. I'm gonna make this the last test hand. You guys don't want to see me playing this a lot longer. Yeah, I think you'd rather see what's actually in the deck. But yeah, this isn't the final deck list. There's still cards I need, like Martial Leaf, obviously, which is a proxy at the moment. So it's just way too expensive, and you know I don't generally buy cards off the internet if they're more than £5 because I'm very keen on budget decks. This is decidingly not a budget deck. So this is the first time I've actually drawn Plague Spreader Zombie in every test that I've done so far. I've even tested this on DevPro, and I've never drawn into Plague Spreader Zombie, so this is the first time. We have got Terraforming, which means we can take the field spell out of the deck and put it in our hand. We have Hermit Tree, it's generally disastrous if we get Hermit Tree in our hand because we don't want it there. But we can easily drop it with anything like 1-for-1 or Mount Sylvania. So then we draw for turn, and that is really, it's okay. It's not the best starting hand I've ever had. So I think first we go Terraforming. So we'd take the field spell out of the deck and place it in the hand, which will then immediately be activated. Then we can go 1-for-1, which we'll drop. I'm going to drop Plague Spreader Zombie because I don't want it in my hand. and then I'm going to take out Spore, because that's a good card to activate in the graveyard as well. Then we can go Super Solar Nutrient, and then just take Spore out of the picture for the moment, and go Lone Fire Blossom, which we can then tribute as well to go Hermitry. Then that's when we can use Mount Sylvania's effects, so we can drop the spare Hermitry in the hand to top deck something like Martial Leaf or Peacekeeper or something. I'm going to top deck Peacekeeper again, because, sorry about the light, it's quite dark where I'm at the moment. It's about almost 9 o'clock where I'm filming now in the evening. So yeah, you guys don't want to know about that. So top deck that. Then we can use Hermitry's effect to excavate, and then take Lone Fire out the graveyard, tribute it, and then just take out another Hermitry. Or in this deck, because at the moment in this deck I run Marina, Princess of Sunflowers, because it's quite a good card. You can also run Titania or something, but no, I'm going to go into the second Hermitry. So now there are no more Hermitrys in the deck. This deck's quite good at thinning itself out, so you don't need things like Upstart Goblin, because it's already quite consistent as it is, because it mills all the stuff that you actually want, so it's like a step up from Light Swarms, which is quite good. I mean, not all the plants are Sylvans, obviously, but you can take them out of the graveyard really easily. So, and then I'm just going to go second Silver Hermitry, and unfortunately it's another Peacekeeper. You can only activate its effect once per turn, so that's a bit of a waste on that part, but you know. So then we can overlay these for another just Felgrund again, and then yeah, that would be it. And then we can place Call of the Haunted face down. So then, like turn 2, that's Mount Sylvania again. So yeah, that is the last profile. I might point out that you can also use Mount Sylvania's effect during your opponent's end phase to excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant, then blah blah blah, it goes to the graveyard, and so you get an effect if it's a Sylvan. And if it's not a plant, you can either place it on the top or bottom of your deck, so you can leave it where it is if it's a card that you actually want. So yeah, that concludes the three or four test hands. I can't remember how many I've actually done now in this video. Hope you like this. I'm not expecting this to get that many views. It's not very interesting, of course. It's just me testing out a deck in not a very good way. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe.